Okay, so I first saw this movie when I was like 15. Honestly thought it was kind of boring. I figured nothing like that would never ever happen. Holy shit, was I wrong. So Contagion is a 2011 medical disaster film in which the world is exposed to a deadly virus. The film plays out throughout the eyes of a concerned father, a blogger slash conspiracy theorist, and the team of epidemiologists who are fighting to contain and find a cure for the virus. Right off the bat, I have to give credit to the amazing world building that Steven Soderbergh brought to the table. Everything in this movie is so realistic, you feel like you're actually there watching it happen. Now, this movie's main goal is not just to entertain, but to also educate us on what an actual pandemic would really look like. And I mean, given what's going on right now, yeah, I'd say it's done a pretty good job at doing so. It's kind of funny because when this movie was first released, people were comparing Outbreak to Contagion. Now people are comparing Contagion to real life. Various levels of government not paying attention to the experts. Yep, this movie's got it. Panic buying, false information, Sanjay freaking Gupta reporting on the pandemic. Okay, it's pretty terrifying how much this movie got right. Thankfully, the one thing that's different between MEV1 and the coronavirus is the mortality rate. Now, I'm not going to spoil what it is, but trust me when I say it is bad. But don't worry, because nobody ran out of toilet paper throughout the whole movie. The CDC says as long as you have 75 rolls of these babies, everything is going to be okay. Yeah, I should probably buy some more. This movie also does a pretty good job at making you feel really squeamish and gross and really uncomfortable in your own surroundings. For instance, there are a few scenes when a sick person will touch like a glass or a doorknob, and the camera just lingers on that object until an unsuspecting victim touches the infected surface. It's little touches like these that remind you how easy it is for these diseases to spread from one person to another. On top of that, I'm really surprised that the studio was even able to afford this humongously star-studded cast. The acting in this movie is incredible. Not a single person in this movie does a bad job. You got Matt Damon, Lawrence Fishburne, Kate Winslet. I keep wanting to say Charlize Theron. It's not Charlize Theron. Who is it? Yep, gotta put on my glasses. Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow. And that's literally just to skim the surface. Now, one of my favorite characters in this whole movie is the blogger slash conspiracy theorist played amazingly by Jude Law. Now, his purpose in this movie is to add more chaos to this already chaotic world. Now, one of the first warnings that I have to give about this movie is that while it is an intense situation, it can be a bit of a slow burn at times. What I mean by that is that it doesn't care to present itself as an action-packed, fast-paced thriller like Outbreak was. Now, as entertaining as that movie is, you have to admit it's kind of cheesy at times. Like, remember that one scene when those geniuses decide to use a little girl as live bait to catch the virus monkey? Then you have Cuba Gooding Jr. aiming his tranquilizer gun with the little girl in the line of fire. Yeah, you'll never see anything like this in this movie. Or when Dustin Hoffman shakes hands with people while he's wearing a hazmat suit. Like, I know we're here dealing with a very deadly virus and everything, but dang nabbit, Jimmy, I haven't seen her in a while. Put her there!
Good to see you too.
Contagion will never reach that level of cheese factor because it takes itself very seriously. In some scenes, it's less like a movie and more like an interesting lecture. And it doesn't even bother to explain what the scientists are talking about sometimes when they're talking about the virus and their confusing language, vocabulary, speak. You know, big words. It can also be kind of choppy, confusing at times, and that's due to the fact that there are so many main characters. And yes, each of them have their own part of the story. Now, I sat down and counted, and this movie literally has six different plot lines going through it. This movie is constantly jumping through storylines without any mercy. It can honestly be a little confusing to keep track of what all is going on with each individual character. Now, this movie had so much to show and tell us that I'm really surprised that it was able to squeeze it into an hour and 50-minute runtime. I would have loved to have seen this done in the form of a miniseries because it honestly left me wanting more. That last scene, though, perfect. Bottom line, if you like action-packed, fast-paced pandemic flicks, this one might not be for you. But I really dug this movie. It was well worth paying the $3.99 rent fee, so I'm going to give it a 7.3 out of 10. Lastly, With this being my first video, I'd like to say thank you to anyone who stuck around to see the whole review. If you want to critique my critique, or if you have something to suggest, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I hope to be releasing some more reviews very soon.